are these people?
Indie Media Award honoree Stefania Maurizi on Monday, June 24th. I think it was Monday, right? Pretty sure it was Monday. Might have been Tuesday. A historic day. All right, but 2024. A year later, Stefania publishes this article. After 14 years, I met Julian Assange as a free man. Hardship has not made him hard. He's still a victim of state secrecy. In this article for Computer Weekly, I explain to you why. And the only other person I know of that talked about this article at all on her show was Misty Winston. Hey, what is this nonsense? Really? Okay. Really? I shouldn't have to do that.
You probably don't need that.
No.
Open it in reader mode.
I think you kind
of... Look at the top. There's a little reader mode thing to be...
I don't think they have that here. Come on, man. All right, hold on a second. Let me sign in and create a fucking thing because they're a bunch of jerk-offs at this website. Thank you. Thanks for nothing. Like, really? I agree. Detect target. Really? I mean, come on. Oh, come on. Please provide a corporate email address. Meaning not a Gmail. Like, really? You fucking jerk-offs? And then, you're going to have to click this link. Oh, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah, put in all your names.
No. Okay, you know what? I'm about to chuck this story because I'm not playing this game, Stefania. You want to send me the article? I'll read it, but I'm not doing this. I'm not filling out a form. Okay, now we've
Press X. Press X.
I got it. I got it.
So it doesn't load.
I got it.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. If it comes back, you owe me $5.
Well, I don't care if it comes back. All right. So, as Stefania finally writes, and I can get to that. Again, this is Indie Media Award honoree Stefania Maurizi writing for ComputerWeekly.com. And screw you, Computer Weekly, for making me have to register to read this. 1 year since being free, Julian Assange is still a victim of state secrecy. She says that if the State Department's arguments prevail in FOIA litigation, the truth about U.S. action against Julian Assange and WikiLeaks journalists will never be known, which is what the U.S. government planned on all along. So she says it's 1 year since WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange became a free man again. When he addressed the Council of Europe last October, which, by the way, we live streamed on INN. Not very many channels that I know of actually picked that up live. But we tapped into the feed and we co-streamed that because I wanted to hear what the hell he had to say. He was unable to speak about the years he'd spent incarcerated in the UK, facing allegations of Espionage Act violations and computer intrusion. He says, quote, I'm not yet fully equipped to speak about what I have endured, the relentless struggle to stay alive, both physically and mentally. Nor can I speak yet about the deaths by hanging, murder, and medical neglect of my fellow prisoners. She said when she had heard those words, for a moment, her mind went back to the ordeal that Assange had gone through since 2010, when he and WikiLeaks began publishing secret U.S. documents. The arbitrary detention he endured for almost a decade, the smear campaign against him and WikiLeaks, CIA plans to kidnap or kill him, revealed by protected witnesses, the Espionage Act charges, the risk of spending his life entombed in a U.S. supermax prison, the 5 years and 2 months spent in Britain's toughest prison, Belmarsh, and the grave decline in his health. In May 2019, 52-year-old Assange was publicly charged by the United States Department of Justice with 17 counts under the U.S. Espionage Act of 1917 and 1 count under the U.S. Computer Fraud and Abuse Act over WikiLeaks' 2010 publication of documents leaked by U.S. Army whistleblower Chelsea Manning.
Yep.
She says there's a FOIA battle that reveals that the authorities destroyed key documents, which we know of in the UK. As an investigative journalist and partner of WikiLeaks, media partner, who published the same secret U.S. documents but did not go through a similar ordeal, Stefania has always felt it her duty to investigate the legal and extra-legal tactics used by Assange and the WikiLeaks journalists. It was this desire to unearth the truth that convinced me to embark on a 10-year FOIA battle in the US, Britain, Sweden, and Australia, represented by such excellent lawyers as British barrister Estelle Dehaan of Casey Cornerstone Barristers and American lawyers Lauren Russell and Aaliyah Smith of Ballard Spahr. Okay. Thanks to this trench warfare to unearth the truth, it has been possible to reveal the role of the British authorities, including the Crown Prosecution Service, in creating the legal paralysis that kept Assange arbitrarily detained in London and that they destroyed key documents on the case. Again, we covered it when she published that and received those FOIA documents. This process has also brought to light that the Swedish authorities destroyed thousands of key documents, and finally that the U.S. authorities had planned to detain the WikiLeaks founder at the U.S. border in July 2010, before WikiLeaks had even revealed the secret reports on the war in Afghanistan.
WikiLeaks.
That was at some conference. They planned to grab him when he flew to New York for a conference, but either he got wind of it or he just decided not to go, and he never went, so they never grabbed him. But there was an entire plan. Again, we covered that on this show too. Hey, how about that?
Mm-hmm.
So she says that he is still the same person with the same humor intact, which is remarkable. She says, when Assange was finally free and gave testimony before the Parliamentary Assembly of the Council of Europe in Strasbourg last October, 14 years had passed since I had last met him as a free man on September 28, 2010. From that time, we had always met in confined places, either when he was under house arrest or when he was at the Ecuadorian embassy in London, where we met repeatedly until 5 months before his arrest, where she undoubtedly was spied upon by UC Global, who was doing that on behalf of Adelson and CIA. When Assange was freed, and when WikiLeaks informed me that we could finally meet, as I stepped out of the building after our meeting, I could scarcely believe that there were no walls preventing him from doing the same. Each time we had met previously, I had thought about how painful it was for him to remain confined between four walls, day after day, year after year, with no end in sight. But this time he could go out, walk freely, enjoy the sun, and spend time with his family and friends. I just couldn't believe it. At the same time, I had one serious concern. Would he be the same person I had known before? I mean, how could he be? When we met, he was brilliant, relaxed, and had not lost his sense of humor. The hardship he had gone through had not made him hard. We didn't discuss any of his future plans. He enjoys nature, his wife Stella, and their 2 sons. Should he decide to spend the rest of his life swimming in the ocean and walking in the woods, who could question that choice? He's already given so much and sacrificed so many years of his life. Assange and the WikiLeaks journalists fought a battle against state secrecy. Secrecy that is used not to protect the safety and security of citizens, but is abused to cover up state criminality, and won. They opened a deep and enduring crack in malign state secrecy. It's paradoxical that the man who won the battle against state secrecy may himself become a victim of state secrecy. Assange's plea deal does not allow him even to file a Freedom of Information Act request to acquire information on his persecution. Interesting. In addition, as our FOIA litigation revealed, thousands of key documents on this case were destroyed by British and Swedish authorities, which all, by the way, is a crime.
Yep.
And now the U.S. authorities by the State Department are trying to keep key documentation classified and stop the release of unclassified files. Wait. Okay, that's insane. Because the department is opposing the release of documents on the investigation into WikiLeaks, on Assange's travels, and even on foreign government perceptions and reactions to WikiLeaks disclosures, arguing that their release could reasonably be expected to cause serious damage to national security. Can it all? If the State Department's arguments prevail in the U.S. FOIA litigation, which I fully expect it will, the truth about the persecution of Assange and the WikiLeaks journalists will never see the light of day. Again, the intent here is, all right, fine, we let him out, but you're not getting all the answers that you want. You got him out. And is that going to be enough? You know, it's funny. On American Tradition Clip Show the other night, I ran a 1 year kind of retrospective. We did a show called Julian's Free, and it had a list of songs that mentioned him or were about press freedom. And at the end, I stuck on 2 new Jesse pieces that he has done in the last year since Julian's gotten out. And one of them is called The Win, which is about is that all we get before we go, effectively? Like, what did we expect was going to happen? Like, were they going to just be like, yep, our bad, like completely fess up to every single thing that we ever accused them of, and then just walk into prison themselves? No, I mean, I'm not really sure exactly what what you would expect. Again, there's a lot of things that I can say more about Julian and about this. I kind of want to be that to be more of like a happier, kind of looser segment. At some point, I will get into all of the questions that I have and the beefs that I have with the way that that's all been handled and the limited access that we've had and the fact that he's always seems to be surrounded by a handler and a whole lot more. But again, for tonight, it's been a year. We're thrilled that he's been out. Look, this is what we fought for from the minute I started in independent media, basically, was fighting for Julian Assange to be out of prison. Now, I also wanted Julian Assange to be able to be out of prison and speak freely and kind of go back to doing what he was doing before, but that might not have been a realistic expectation. It might not have even been fair of me to think or want or whatever you want to call it. Look, he's a free man. He can do whatever the hell he wants at this point. And he owes nobody anything, really. I would hope that at some point there will be a sit down where it's like an AMA type of thing where they'll take questions from an audience. But everything has been so gate-kept around him for so long. It'll be interesting to see if and when that actually does happen. We don't get monetized for talking about Julian Assange for sure. So if you're able to, and it means, please support independent media with a monthly one-time contribution. The best ways to do that are over at Cash App. There's no fees over there. $ Indie News Network. ko-fi.com, ko-fi.com/Indie News Network. That's where you can, it'll actually show up something on screen. It'll pop up and go, woo! And then paypal.me/Indie News Network. That works there too. Over at the Substacks, INNnewsletter.com, IndieMediaToday.com. Those are the 2 places over at Substack. And then our self-hosted site at IndieNewsNow.com. There's a Stripe plug in there so you can support with a one-time or monthly contribution. Really appreciate everybody doing that. I love you all. Thank you so much. Support independent media because we need it more than ever. Have a good night, everybody. Love you.
Bye-bye. Bye, Felicia.
No! We just fucking lost the stream!
I guess this isn't such an awful place Is that what you want?